What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today we are covering the Knicks, and we have a big Knicks fan here. We have DJ for Dude Perfect and Christian hip hop artist nobigdyl and Lecrae. We have DJ Mykael V with us. Thank you for joining the channel. What's going on today, man?
What's up, bro? How you feeling, man? I'm doing well.
I'm doing good, man. So we got your New York Knicks up today.
Yes, sir.
This is a team that I believe exceeded expectations last year. Would you say they went above your expectations?
Oh, they went above and beyond. I mean, a first round exit isn't always ideal, but before the season started, a lot of people thought they wasn't even going to make the playoffs. So I think a 4 seed and a first round exit is way far beyond any expectation I had.
Yeah, man. And if Julius Randle doesn't kind of tank off in that playoff run, then y'all could have beat the Hawks in that one. But
Yeah, but man,
Hawks just kind
the
of went
Hawks.
beast mode too.
Yeah, the Hawks were gelling, man. That second half of the season, man, like shout out to them because they started off the season 11-21,
Yeah,
and then they literally became like we were tied for the 4 seed by the end of the season, and
yeah,
they literally beat Philly, they beat us, and they almost went to the West Finals and West Finals to the East Finals, which is
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, they were kind of nasty, but like you said, I definitely don't think too many people expected the Knicks to be making the playoffs at all, and to make it as a 4 seed was pretty crazy.
Very
So
crazy, man.
you got this team coming in with what I think is an even better roster this year. They bring in Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier in free agency. You've got two veteran bucket getters, and I think they're just going to thrive in this team. Kemba Walker loves that MSG environment. How do you feel about these two pickups?
Man, I feel great, bro. I mean, coming from Boston, and watching their Boston runs, it was cool. But having Kemba Walker back is amazing, man. He's a Bronx product, born and raised in New York. I think he went to UConn, has had so many amazing games in the Garden, and now to call the Garden home, I think it's gonna jolt another, just kind of give him a new energy and a new revitalization of his game. To play at home, literally at home where he grew up for the team
No,
that he loves, and also Evan Fournier, man. Watching these preseason games, he's been just a sharpshooter right now, man. He'll probably have a slump somewhere in midseason, but regardless, I love this team now more than last year because we have a lot of returning main people,
yep.
and these two new pickups give us offense that I think we needed.
Yeah. So one of the big pieces coming back, obviously, Julius Randle won Most Improved Player of the Year last year. He looks to continue to get better. We've seen some offseason footage. Looks like he's getting even better at kind of creating his own shot, knocking down longer range shots, those 3-pointers and everything. You think he can get even better this season?
Yeah, man. From watching the preseason, bro, and just seeing what he's been doing, he's been working on his right. That was a big problem during the playoffs. Is he kind of got flustered, and he would just go to where he was confident, which was his left side, and the defense can read that and adjust to that easily. He looks like he can play ambidextrous now at the moment. So loving his game, man. Watched the game last night. He just dropped a cool 29, 11, and 5 after
Oh,
being off for a week. So he looks good, man. He looks good. He looks confident, and he looks like he has unfinished business, bro. And it's great to see him become a leader and him become an all-star.
yeah, for sure. I definitely think he's going to be out for vengeance after that playoff run. I think he definitely knows that he's capable of more. So I think he
And
just
now
comes out even more aggressive this season.
more aggressive, and he has help. And Kemba a scoring
Yeah.
option, and Evan a scoring option. And he definitely has more help off the bench. But Obi Toppin playing really well this year.
Yep.
Definitely doing not having a sophomore slump and actually jumping up a few levels and playing well. These preseason games, he's been playing extremely well, creating his own shot. Being more comfortable, you can tell he's extremely more comfortable, not as nervous, and having Emmanuel quickly and Derrick Rose off the bench. Personally, bro, to be real with you, I think that we have the top 3 benches in the league right now, if I'm being honest.
You think top three?
Yeah, man. Our bench is kind of nasty, bro.
It is a solid bench. I know for sure I got Denver over y'all, but I can't think of any others off the top of my head. Maybe Miami, but
Yeah,
I'm not
Miami's
too
nasty.
sure. So y'all might be close to top three, if not. So you mentioned Emmanuel quickly. That's one of my favorite players on this roster. Had a solid rookie season last year. I don't think people expected him to kind of break out like he did. He's got that
Yeah.
nasty little floater game. And I definitely think he could be kind of like that 6-man spark plug. coming off the bench. What you thinking about him?
Man, I think he reminds me of a young Jamal Crawford. He's great six man. He creates his own shot, pulls up when he wants. When he's a microwave man. When he's feeling his shot, he can pull up from anywhere and have the confidence to make it. And even if he doesn't, he'll come back and do the same thing until he makes it. Love him as a player. Love his attitude. Last year he had a little trouble playing point guard position as far as like distributing and having court vision. But looking at the summer league and the preseason games, his vision has improved, his court vision has improved, and his assist game is definitely going up. He's now more than just a volume shooter. He's also, looking for the dime whenever he can, which is great. And him and Obi Toppin's little connection right there is doing well, man. I love him as a scorer, and I love him as a bench option for sure.
And you mentioned Obi a couple times. That was one of my favorite players coming out of that draft class. He was a little underwhelming last year. I think some injuries got to him, right? And then he just kind of underperformed a little bit, but he's got that potential to be similar to like a John Collins type player. I feel like he's got that just raw athleticism. He can go up there and throw down those lobs. He can go swat some shots because he can jump through the roof. You think we see some improvement from him this season?
I mean, yeah, bro. From the watching the summer league and then watching these preseason games, he's improved exponentially, bro. He has improved just his running and just his confidence, bro. Like you can see when he plays, man. Like last year, I think what got to him is his confidence and adjusting to a new system, adjusting to the NBA, and especially playing behind Julius Randle, such a big expectation. And especially with Julius Randle averaging 42 minutes a game. I mean, your minutes are scarce, so you got to make them count. But I think he's kind of found his groove in this preseason and in the summer league, found his confidence. I think he's great, man. I kind of compare him to like Amari Stoudemire. He's a great pick and roll player. He can go up and get it for you. He also can create on the dribble. Got a couple post moves in there. He can definitely shoot it up at least I think 30%, man. He's a good shooter.
Yeah, for sure. And you mentioned the confidence. I think just coming into a team like the New York Knicks and the way that their fans are, I think that's just enough pressure on its own. Never mind the fact you're playing behind a Julius Randle.
Exactly.
So one of my, if not my favorite part of this roster is Mitchell Robinson. We missed a lot of him last season. He's supposedly put on around 30 pounds of muscle while he's been out with his injuries. He's already a super athletic dude, a great shot blocker. And the role that he plays and his type of play style as just an absolute bruiser already, huge body in the paint. Like this added 30 pounds of muscle can be so huge. Like, I don't think we've seen a transformation like this very like recently at all in the NBA. How are you feeling about the Mitchell Robinson return coming up?
Man, I'm excited. They said that he could be back by Friday, which is amazing. That I'd love to see him back, man. I think that he has a chip on his shoulder from not being able to play in the playoff series and not being a part of that situation. I felt like he felt that he could have been definitely a difference maker in that. I definitely compare him to like a young DeAndre Jordan, man. He can definitely block shots. He's great on the pick and roll. Can definitely get rebounds and dunk, man. Definitely a 12 and 12 player for sure. But it's him putting on that muscle. It's kind of like, how does he carry it? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he's heavier, but how does he still run the floor? Is his stamina still good? So definitely would love to get to see that.
Right.
But man, we like our backcourt. Our front court is stacked, bro.
Yeah.
Mitchell Robinson, Taj Gibson, Nerlens Noel, and that new kid we got with the afro, I forgot his name. Man, he's been starting and not starting. He's been coming off the bench for the preseason. He's been extremely good. He's a rookie as well. But yeah, man, I'm definitely excited to see what comes about from Mitchell Robinson, man, because he could definitely be. They could be a big three, man. To be honest, like him, RJ, and Julius can be a big three depending on if he plays well, man. I think it's just injuries, but I think now that he's heavier, it'll be kind of less injuries because he'll be less frail and banged up,
right?
As opposed to, you know what I'm saying, he was super skinny, and now he's kind of put some weight on, so we'll definitely see what's up.
Yeah, he's going to look like an absolute tank out there, I feel like, when he comes out this season.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. He's definitely a game changer, man. He can play great defense, and I love the way he plays. He's a big difference maker, especially on the defensive side.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned Nerlens Noel's name. One of the things he's supposedly been working on at the request of the team this offseason is being able to shoot that corner three ball. What are you feeling as a Knicks fan about potentially seeing Nerlens Noel jack up corner threes?
Man, I mean, it's not unheard of because if you look at last night's preseason game, I mean, Taj Gibson was chucking up threes and went 7 for 12 from three.
Oh,
So
dang.
I mean, yeah, I mean, if Taj Gibson can do it, I don't know, maybe Noah Wall can do it. It'll definitely space the floor out. I mean, I'm all for it. If it's not a dumb shot, and I'm with it.
Yeah. So you mentioned RJ Barrett as well. This is a key young player to this roster, really starting to come into his own. He was another huge part of that team going to the playoffs last year alongside Julius Randle. What are you thinking about his progression? Think he takes another step up, or thinks he kind of stays in that same area now that they're bringing in that Fournier and Kemba Walker type players too?
I think at worst he stays the same, but I think the ceiling is high this year. I think he always has something to prove, man. Because if you look at all these top 20 players, under 20 or like under 30, whatever, 25,
Mm-hmm.
RJ is rarely mentioned. People forget about him, which
Yeah.
is it's wild to me because he was actually first round draft pick when it came to the draft leaderboards before Zion started playing
Yeah.
out of his mind. Um, but yeah, he's doing well, man. I think he's going to be good for 18 to 20 a game. He's playing extremely more confident. I think that was my only takeaway from last year, especially during the playoffs, as he played in a very overthinking manner. He would, I could tell in his mannerisms and in the way he played, he would think too much. I think he's playing more free form now. Definitely, his shooting is way better than it was when he first got in the league.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He's definitely shooting up amazing shots with threes and shots in the field. He definitely can play through contact. So I'm excited to see what comes out of this year, especially coming off of a year where the whole team did great and adding two offensive juggernauts like Kemba and Fournier. I think it'll open up the floor for him to kind of be what he wants to be.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a very good take on him for sure. A dude that I like coming into this roster as well. We got rookie guard Quentin Grimes out of Houston. This dude's
Yes,
an
sir.
absolute shooter. He's a high motor player.
Yeah.
And you can never have too much shooting in the league that we're in now. So even though you've got your RJ and your Fournier and your Kimba and Randall being able to space the floor, like you can never have too much shooting. And this is a guy that averaged nearly 18 points per game, shooting 40% from deep on 8 attempts per game last season at Houston. And he also was adding in 5.5 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1.5 steals per game. And this is a team that went to the Final Four. So it wasn't like they were just playing mediocre teams this whole way. So this dude's coming onto this roster too. I just think that's going to absolutely be nasty. Have you seen much of Quentin Grimes in the preseason and stuff yet?
Yeah, bro. I actually watched him and Miles McBridge in the summer league, and they played out of their minds. Quentin, it took him like 2 games to kind of get into it. But once he got going, man, his defense, his shooting, his decision making was amazing, man. Him and Miles are like a dynamic duo, and I am extremely excited to see what comes out of them this year. I mean, obviously they'll be on the G League team and on the main roster, but it is, yeah, I'm excited about that, bro. Especially Miles, man. Miles during the preseason alone, he went extremely crazy. Like he was great player, completely blew my expectations out of the water for him. And I'm excited to see what comes out of that, man, because they're both 2 great players. And having him on the team, I think, with since the Knicks picked up Tom Thibodeau, we have a new, I forget what it's called. We have a new developmental coach, and
Okay.
since then, so I think that working with that developmental coach is going to be great. I'm excited for both those rookies, man.
Yeah, I definitely think Grimes is going to be a nasty, maybe sleeper for rookie of the year. I don't know if he'll get to that point, but he can definitely be a sleeper for it, depending on the minutes that are available for him there.
Yeah, man, he's kid is good.
Yeah. So one of my notes that I've got on here, I said that they kind of have a little bit of a clogged up like guard positions now. You've got Kemba, you got Derrick Rose, you got Emmanuel Quickly, you got Grimes. They signed Dwayne Bacon. Then you've got Fournier, you got RJ, and you got Alec Burks. Fournier, RJ, and Alec Burks can kind of play that small forward position. RJ and Alec Burks probably a little more than Fournier. But what are you thinking about kind of this like clogging up of this guard position? You think it gets worked out pretty easily, or you think it's something that we work out as the season goes along?
I definitely think it'll be something we work out as the season goes on, but I'm not hurt by it at all, because I feel like we can definitely, with this roster and especially with the excess of guards, play a small ball. And maybe potentially, I know Tibbs doesn't like going to this often, but potentially having Julius at the 5 and RJ at the 4, and then maybe Alex at the Alec at the 3, and then Fournier at the 2, maybe Derek at the 1. And you can kind of like mix and match that on the bench as much as you want.
Right.
But I think it's a potential small ball tandem if they have to go to those matchups. But I think having these guards is great, especially the 2 young ones in Miles McBridge and the other guy you just said, I forgot his name, I'm sorry. But having Quentin Grimes and Miles McBridge is, I mean, they're young, so they don't have to get too much playing time as far as like on the main roster, but definitely with how the way Tom Thibodeau plays his players and having a long season, and especially with the playoffs, God willing, this year, it's like those guards can definitely give breaks to the starters and the main bench players, and we can kind of give everybody a run, give them some rest.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely going to be nice on the rotation as the season goes along. Like you said, being able to get those guys some rest, especially the older players like Kemba and Rose there. Yeah. So before we get into season predictions for the team, do you have anything else you want to add about the roster itself?
Man, I think we have a great roster, man. I think we have a great balance of vets and rookies. And I think a downfall of the Knicks organization often was that we never could grow a player. It was like we always wanted to trade for the big players. But now that we have people like Jericho Sims, Miles McBridge, and Quentin Grimes and everybody, those are 3 rookies that we drafted, and I feel like we can definitely bring them up to like superstar to all-star potential. I think the only downside, man, is Kevin Knox, bro. I wanted Kevin Knox to be so good, and I feel like he is. I just think he's not getting the burn he needs to become a good player. Right. I think he'd benefit by being traded, not in a way of like getting rid of him, but more so I want to see him have a great career in the NBA. Right. And I think being on the Knicks in this stage of his career is just not healthy for him, because, man, like having people like Quentin Grimes and like Miles McBridge to come in first year and create like that makes him, as a 4th-year player, look kind of like, hey, man, you're not that good, unfortunately. But I know he has potential, so I'd love to see him go somewhere else and possibly make something happen. But I think the best part about this roster is just the young guys, man. Like being able to come into a healthy Knicks organization at the moment, and possibly go to the playoffs again. And their first year, kind of like Emmanuel Quickly and Obi Toppin, gets to see and have some playoff experience, to then come in their second year strong. Because I think having that playoff experience, especially for Obi Toppin, who was averaging 20 the last 3 games of the playoffs, definitely helped him coming into this year with his confidence and understanding like the playoff just vibe and just being in that arena. Crazy.
Yeah, playing that playoff basketball is different. It'll build you or break you. And Kevin Knox is honestly, that's a dude that I forgot was on this roster. There were such high expectations for him coming out of Kentucky. I think similar to RJ, like he felt that pressure his rookie year, but RJ overcame it. I just don't think Kevin Knox ever got to that mental point where he was able to overcome that.
Yeah.
All right.
Sad. It's a sad time for Mr. Knox.
Yep, for sure. All right. So for season predictions, you want to give yours first, or you want me to go first?
You can go first, bro. I'd love to hear yours.
All right. So I got this team sitting around 45 to 47 wins. So a very solid season. Got them around a 5 seed, so a slight drop from last season, but not much. And then I've got them, unfortunately, with another first round exit.
Cool. I think I see them as well with a 48 to 47, 46, like between 47 and 50 wins.
Okay.
50 being the absolute best that we can do.
Right.
As far as predictions go. I see us, man, at like at ending the season, possibly at 4 again, possibly 5, depending on who shows up. Because we have returning a healthy Atlanta team,
Right.
a healthy Bucks team, a
Healthy Nets
dwindling.
team.
I don't know about healthy, but a Nets team that is conquering their own
Healthy
things.
minus Kyrie getting his
Yeah,
vaccination.
exactly. And not the Raptors, the Miami Heat look good. So I mean, it all just depends on who shows up. I could definitely see us at one point in the season being a 3 seed, but I would definitely see us ending the season at like a 5 or a 4 for sure.
Yeah. And what about playoff expectations? What you thinking there?
Man, I'm thinking a second round exit.
You think second round this year?
Yeah, I think depending on who we are seeding, and how we play, I think if we play the Nets, man, if we lose to the Nets first round, but it's like a game 7 situation, I wouldn't even be mad because I just want
Okay.
that. Like, I just want the Knicks to play hard. That's all I care about. That's all I ever cared about. I don't care
Yeah.
if we lose, as long as we look like we're putting in effort and playing hard. I can't be upset.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, definitely second round, depending on who we face. If we go against Miami Heat, maybe I kind of feel that that's what's going to happen. It'll be definitely either Miami Heat or the Hawks again that we play in the first
Right.
round. Either or team, I think a revenge series against the Hawks would be amazing.
Yeah.
But I also think a Miami Heat playoff would be interesting. So we'll see, man. We'll definitely see.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you hopping on here. Everyone watching, thank you for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you leave a like, comment your thoughts on this Knicks roster, and subscribe if you're new, and we'll catch you on the next video. Peace out.